guys, Stag, Wolf and Stag, Wastelander. So I don't have my fancy intro, but I wanted to do a video regarding medical training and why it's important. A little background on why, and this will also explain why I hadn't been making videos in a while. Some of you guys know, some of you guys don't know. My father was diagnosed with prostate cancer earlier this year. That's after suffering through COVID and being a long hauler. That's how we found out about the cancer. So, because of the COVID, it built pressure on his chest, or built fluid up in his chest that was later drained at the hospital. But with the cancer coming back, and he had tested positive prostate cancer, went through that. We saw the scans. Well, the night my wife and I saw the scans, my dad had a stroke. It was pretty scary. It's one of those things that, you know, having been on the other side of someone's family member having a medical emergency and having that training and being able to help them and being a first responder, I was able to recognize what was going on and able to use my training to effectively get my father treatment and to not stress him out and not throw him into shock. Now, had I not had this training, I don't know how I would have reacted. I can safely say that I probably would have been stressed out. It's my dad. You know, it's a family member. It's my father. My dad and I are pretty close, so it still affected me. It still does bother me, knowing that could have been the last time I saw my dad when he had his stroke. Fortunately, it didn't turn out that way, and my mother and I were able to get him the treatment. Now, to preface this, my mom spent 25 years as a school bus driver. She's been through all the first aid, first responder courses. I have some law enforcement experience, been through the first aid, first responder, advanced first aid training. I was an oil field first aid, first responder with advanced training. So I knew what we were looking at in this situation. So they have an acronym when someone's having a stroke, and I just want people to be aware of this. So the acronym is FAST: face, arm, speech, and time. So first things you notice are the face, the drooping, the paralysis and drooping of the face. The arm, his arm was drooping, dragging, was useless. His leg, same. And then we noted time. It was 21:30 when my mom came and got me. It was about 21:35 by the time we got my dad up and moving. So we got him up. He wanted to go sit in his chair. Got him to his chair. Got him outside. I probably sat with him for a couple of minutes, and then I told him I'm calling 911. I don't care. My dad doesn't like this kind of thing. My dad's not that person. My dad himself has been a search and rescue member. He's been an Outward Bound and a NOLS instructor. So my dad has had the training as well. My dad's had the time and all that stuff. So with that said, we got my dad treatment right away. We got him on a life flight. We got him back to my hometown, got him treatment. They started doing the cancer treatment immediately. They took care of the stroke. My dad is now recovered from the stroke, and his cancer is now in remission. So that's the good news. But the reason I make this video is because having first aid, first responder, even basic first aid, CPR training, you never know when you're going to need to use that. And in all these classes, be it basic or advanced like I've had, they tell you to remain calm in order to keep the other person calm. Well, coming from a first responder's position, best thing to do is remain calm during the whole thing. And honestly, even when it's not your own family, it kind of does hit you, because then you start thinking, what if this was my family? Having been in that position, I can tell you it's difficult, but you have to remain calm. When it's your own family, it's a lot different. But again, having that training, having been through those courses and done that, I was able to get my dad the help that was needed. My mom and I were able to get him the help that was needed. My mother and I stayed calm. My wife stayed calm. And that's also for the sake of our kids. We remain calm. So the biggest part of it is to remain calm. So the next thing is to know the signs and symptoms of what you're dealing with, be it a heart attack, stroke, a severe traumatic injury. Knowing these signs and symptoms, you have to be able to handle the situation. And by that I mean you have to be able to go in, keep calm, remain calm, and your focus is to treat them and get them help that's more advanced treatment. So, as we're going through this training, one of the big key things I want to press to you guys is getting medical training. Be it, basic first aid, CPR training, get it. If you've already had the basic, get the advanced. It will save your life, or save the life of a loved one, or save the life of another person. Getting this training is the most important part, and it's just another tool that in an emergency you can use. If you haven't had this kind of training, you wouldn't react. Maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe I'm not thinking properly, or maybe I'm just shooting from the hip here. But I believe that having that training is probably the most proper thing you can do. The ability, as in my case, to remain calm during the situation so as not to put any more stress on my dad than he was going through, because that would have made the situation 100 times worse. Would have been, had I not had this training, I don't know how I would have reacted, as I said before. So having that training allowed me to remain calm in the situation, which allowed my family to remain calm. And once my dad was in the ambulance and the doors were closed and we were out of sight, away from him, we were then able to decompress and let it out, which my wife and daughter began to cry. My son was still in shock, but he stayed fairly calm, which I'm proud of him. My son, but it's my stepson, but he remained calm, and I'm proud of him. He jumped in, helped when I needed help to get my dad up off the ground, and I'm proud of that. And it's why I think that everyone in your family should have the training. Everyone in your immediate circle of friends should have this kind of training. It's difficult for me to stress. I can't stress enough. It's not really difficult for me to stress. I can't stress enough on the importance of getting even just basic first aid CPR training. So, just if you're in that situation, or you need to be able to remain calm. If you don't have the training, but you're helping someone, remain calm is the key. I can't tell you how hard it was for me to remain calm. But let me know your thoughts down below. Do you think first aid is one of the most important and primary aspects? Personally, I do. Having that first aid, first responder training, and getting the key to it, or having that, is a key to someone's survival. Could be you, could be a loved one. Having those trainings, having the ability to respond to that kind of situation is is key and it's paramount. So let us know in the comments below how you guys feel. As always, this has been Stag, Wolf and Stag Wastelanders, and I'll see you in the Wasteland.